Yeah, definitely need to switch to OBS because we don't know how long it's going to take for it to actually go live. But let's just assume it's already live.
It
All
says
right,
live
people.
now.
It is live.
Welcome to Learn to Code Live. This is a show where we learn a new language that none of us know together. We pick a project. I am Josh from eLift Program. I'm accompanied by Michael Z, the Microsoft Tech Lead, Fido, Aurelian, Craig. Please hit like, comment, subscribe. Also, leave a comment if you guys think that I should start an OnlyFans account. If I can get 10 comments saying that you want me to start an OnlyFans account before the end of the year, I'll start an OnlyFans account. Check out my website, eliftprogram.com. And yeah, let's begin. So I will share screen. Looks like we left off last time. Let's see. Do you guys even remember where we left off? I don't. I made comments though. So we have this in a while loop now. We have.
Are you streaming us streaming?
Yeah, you're streaming.
It's delayed. It's delayed. Oh no, you're right.
Oh, okay.
You're right. I am sharing the wrong screen. Thank you.
There's a little bit of delay.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. So I left comments. It looks like this is a while loop. We have the ability to guess now. Okay, in the make guess function. I think where we left off was we were deciding whether or not if the letter if they already guessed the letter, we were going to decrement the number of guesses left, right? Because if they guessed the same letter twice, I think they should be penalized for it. I think we agreed on that. Okay. If they guessed the letter right, we tell them they guessed it right, and we don't increment or decrement anything. However, here we're going to need some kind of like, I don't know what I have this if end commented out for. We're going to need some kind of way in here to tell, actually, that's probably why this if end is here. We're going to need a check, a conditional check to see if all the letters are guessed correctly. After every time they make a correct guess, check, are all letters guessed so far? If so, then we need to switch the game state to win. Else they guess wrong. Line 67, we decrement number of guesses left by 1. Okay. And then we also need to check how many guesses left are on here too. And if the guesses are, there's no guesses left, then we need to change the game state to lose. Let me put a comment there real quick. So check if, I should probably put this above the if statement, because that's what, I think that's what this if statement is for. Check if check if, well, actually, this one's going to check if letters have been guessed. If all have been guessed, then change game state be win. Okay, and then I can just copy this comment. And I can do the same thing here, but except say, change game state equal to be die, and we're going to say check if all guesses are used up. Makes sense?
So after every guess, you're going to check whether the game. So you're going to check whether or not the game was won or lost, though, right? After every guess.
Well, okay. We're gonna check after every guess, and I guess we need to do an if here too. After every guess, so let's just say let's start from the first. So we have if else. So let's start with this first if, the first condition on line 52. So let's say this is a letter that has already been guessed, right?
Right.
We're gonna decrement. We're gonna penalize the user, right? If they guessed it, they guessed the same letter twice. They're being a fucking idiot, and they need to be punished. Okay. So we're gonna on line 55 we decrement by 1. Okay, and then we need to check on here. Since we decremented by 1, hey, how many guesses do we have left? Does this user no longer have any guesses left? If so, then game state needs to be switched to die. Okay.
Okay.
And then let's start with this if else. So it looks like this if else is in place for if they guess the letter correctly. So let's say they did guess the letter correctly. I don't think we should penalize them by making them lose a guess, right? Because they guessed it correctly, and I don't think that should take up a guess. So we have a puts. You guess a letter, bro, but we need to change that. We need to take that puts out because we really don't want any console IO to be inside this game class. So what we need to do in here. So let's say they guess it right, okay? And maybe it's a 5-letter word, and maybe this is the 5th time they guessed the letter right. So they guessed all 5 letters. So we need to check. Hey, did this user guess all 5 letters right? If so, then we need to change the game state to win. And then the same thing for here kind of goes for up here. So if they guess it wrong, decrement by 1 and check, hey, did the user, he lost 1 guess. So how many guesses are left? Are we out of guesses now? If we are, he's dead.
Right.
Okay. And it looks like, how deep is this function? Let me see. This goes from 48 to 87. So, all right. And it looks like down here we have check if game state still equals game. So, if number get okay, so that's with this logic. We might need to move this somewhere. We're gonna have to see. Honestly, so here's the dilemma I was thinking about the other day. So over here in the CLI, we have this while, right? And that's while the game state is guess. And I think that, I don't know if that needs to be here or if this make guess function needs to be encapsulated, or at least this portion of it needs to be encapsulated inside of a while statement. Because I want 2 things. I want the make guess to continue to run, okay? But I want it to continue to run until the game state changes, and then I want it to send the game state back. So maybe we need 2. Actually, we probably need 2 while. We probably would need 2 while loops. We need 1 in the make guess function, and then 1 in the play function. Does that make sense to anybody, or does that sound like we're totally off?
I'm a bit confused.
Huh? You what?
I'm a little bit confused.
So make guess is a function that you would run while the state of the game is still playable, correct? And then you're thinking of putting that inside that state, right? Is that what I'm getting at?
Guess function though, Fido.
Hold on, Fido. Sorry.
Game state he's talking about.
Okay. Aurelian, where are you confused at? Let me know. Let me know, baby boo. Tell me. We'll fix it.
So you want to make, so you're looking at lines, what is it, 78 to 82. And you're trying to figure out whether or not you need to put it somewhere else because it doesn't exactly line up with what comes before it. And
Okay, I'm still having a hard time to hear you, but basically, let me see if I can clarify. So basically, on line 48, we have the make guess function, right? Actually, you know what? It might be easier to just fucking run this guy and show you where we're at so far.
Okay.
I have had the YouTube video. Oh, never mind. I thought I was playing the YouTube video live in the background, so we had like double echo going on. Okay, let me see. All right, I don't know where I am in here. Let me see. Change directory, workspace. Nope, not Windows. All right, we're gonna change to hangman Ruby, and then there's source. Let me clear that up. And then it's Ruby, of course, because we don't have a fucking debugger. Okay.
You say that with so much pride.
We don't need debuggers around here. Debuggers are for
Going raw, bro. Going raw.
always going raw. Debuggers are for little sissy boys. All right, I got the dog. All right, so Aurelian, that first output from the console that says guess.
Okay.
That's just me. We're gonna have to remove that, but that's for debugging purposes. That's because you look at line 7 because we don't have a debugger, so we can't just like step through and see what state the game is in. So obviously, if you run it off the bat, it's going to be in a guess state, right?
Right.
So we're in a guess state, and then the next thing that prints out on line line 8. So yeah, get game state was on line 7. The next thing that prints out on line 8 is the get letters guessed, or get letter guessed. Get count of unassigned letters. Okay, why I probably named that function wrong. Get letter guessed, dude. This thing bites so hard. How would you feel if I bit you? You probably wouldn't like that, would you?
How old is the dog?
9 weeks now. Look at this.
Don't you have like a yard that you can?
He's
like,
got a cow belly, dude. You see it?
Look at that.
You have like a backyard that you can send it to?
Yeah, I got a pretty big. I have a yard like 365 around my house, so, and I live like really close to a park. But he's still bad.
Is it fenced up though?
Yeah, I got a fence. Yeah, I have a fence even on the front too. Anyway, after that guess that's printed out, that little map. So that you see how there's T, false, I, false, E, false, S, false. Those are all the different letters that are in the current word. So, and we had decided we don't need to keep track of every single letter in the current word, because like the example that Michael used was, let's just say we have a 3 million letter long word, okay? But there's only 3 letters in the word, A, B, and C. So do you need to keep track of 3 million letters, or do you need to keep track of 3? Because if there's multiple instances of A, B, and C, right, which most of these words have multiple instances of the same letter because they have vowels and such. So that's what this is. And then basically they're all set to false. This is in a key value map pair data object. So they're all initially set to false, and if the user guesses them correctly, we're going to turn that knob to true, right? And we're using that to keep track of the guesses. Okay, so obviously, and then we have get count of unguessed letters. So that's 4. Okay, and then welcome to Hangman and this beautiful, glorious UI right here. This awesome graphics. Type enter if you want to continue or exit to exit. So we're going to type enter, and I have an error. So let's see. Let's get started. Number of guesses left is 6. The state of the word is, and this is just a visual state representation of the word, right? Because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is a 7-letter word, but it only has 4 letters in it. And then we have a Ruby game 48, make guess, wrong number of arguments given 0, expected 1. And that is because, let's see, 48. That's this one, right? Yeah. So why is it, Michael, why are we taking in a letter here?
Well, so this is your make guess method, right? On your game.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your CLI is standing between your human player and the game, right? So if you were to just call make guess, the game would have no idea what's being guessed.
Right. So we need to give it a guess from, but wait, it was running before. So why?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
In that method on line 48, there's no need to put self.
Which class?
On the right, line 48. I don't know what class it's under because I can't see it.
48. No, we don't need self. At least I think not. Okay.
And the letter that the letter that's being passed into the make guess function is coming from the CLI, right? So that's the user input, and then the make guess is receiving that letter, and then we're passing it through that function to determine where the state of the actual word is at.
That was because, but we have grab user input, but why is it? It was working before. Why is it breaking now?
So your code that you wrote from line 57 down to 68, that was test code that you were running outside of any kind of loop, and then at the time your while loop was commented out. So that make guess call at line 53 wasn't going to run. So what you need to do now is take that user input, sanitization code and that line on 65 where you call game.makeGuess, and you need to factor that into your while loop. So you need to merge those structures.
Okay, and I actually need the we need that validation code in there too.
Mm-hmm.
We need that too. I knew something was iffy. Why did I leave that while loop uncommented? It's bad. Bad, very bad. Okay, let's see. Tab this over. This has got to. It's got to go out here. What do I do without you, Michael?
Oh, well, so you still need to get rid of line 53 because that's what's causing your error right now.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at the comment. Let's see. Pass arguments to make guess, call below. Current, there is a never-ending, I'm assuming it's saying never-ending while loop. We need arguments from the user. Okay. So actually, and we're actually doing that here. So yeah, we don't even need this. I probably should just delete that. Boom, baby. There we go. Okay, enter. All right, Aurelian. So here's where we're supposed to be at. Let's get started. Number of guesses left is 6. Okay, because six is the hard-coded number of guesses. And I guess I don't remember, but so we have 2 limbs, 2 arms, right? So that's 2 legs, 4 torso, 5, and then I guess the neck was 6. I'm not sure, or the head was 6. Actually, I think it was the head. And so we already see the letters. So this is a 3-letter word, and here's the 3 letters, H-A-T. So I think it's hat, obviously. So let's make a guess. I'm going to purposely guess one right now. I'm going to say H. Okay, and it said, you guessed the letter. Congratulations. So now I'm going to guess A. You guessed it. Congratulations. T. You guessed it. Congratulations. But it's still going to keep going because we're not changing that game state yet, right? So let me see if I guess an A. Well, actually, A is the right letter. So let me guess a Q. All right, you guessed wrong. So essentially, we can just sit here and forever and ever continue to guess random letters. So now we actually need to do that validation. I think we're a lot quicker. I think we're a lot closer to being done than we think. Okay, so yeah, now we just need to do this stuff. Now here, we need to decrement number of guesses left. We also need to check 1, 2, 3 status die. Alright, so we need to handle this. I need to handle my dog real quick. Where's that little kid? Don't bite my chair. Come here. Okay. All right. Let's see if he'll chill out. All right. So okay. So we have. If they guessed it already, we are decrementing, and now we need to check. So I need to think of the pseudocode. Check. Okay, so how about this? I'll say in plain English what the pseudocode is. Okay. So decrement, and then I want to check whatever variable or data type we have that holds the record of number of guesses left. I want to check that, and I want to say, is there any left? If so, continue on. We'll break that if statement. If not, change the game state. So what I think, and I also think that I can't code this dog on my lap. Here's what I think we can do. You guys are very verbose and vocal tonight. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say if. I'm gonna probably put this in more. And the dog is pawing at my crotch right now. I feel very violated and uncomfortable.
He wants attention.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Let him run around outside or something. Man.
Oh, did Josh just freeze?
I think so.
I
We lose
disappeared. I'm
our
back.
programmer.
That's good.
Came back.
I was blind, but now I can see. Okay. All right.
You saw the ruby light.
I saw the ruby light, gentlemen, and now I'm back. I'm back with a vengeance. I wonder if that produced a bleep in YouTube. I wonder.
Maybe.
Only one way to find out. Counter Ryu says no bandana tonight. No, sir. No, sir. I got too much sweat on it because I worked at the gym. I actually wore that thing to the gym. I didn't think I was ever gonna wear it, but since we don't have since the whole mask thing, I don't want to wear a real mask, so I just put that thing on my head and have to go in somewhere and just pull it down, and I can actually breathe with that thing. Okay, so if and again, so we already have if syntax. So if number of guests left. Oh, wait a second. Does anyone see what I see? Does anyone know what I know now? Can someone look at game class? Tell me something.
Your Earth is actually flat.
Yes. And the Arctic, the North Pole and the Arctic, the whatever, Antarctica.
It don't exist.
Oh, it exists. It exists, but there's interdimensional
Beings that live there.
Interdimensional. How can I word this
Beings.
without getting in trouble? There's interdimensional.
That's a real.
There's an interdimensional. There's a group of people from a specific variation of. Well, yeah, I don't want to say that either. There's a.
You're really working at this, Josh.
Craig knows where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a group of people. There's a group of interdimensional people who really, 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 and I mean really enjoy pizza and hot dogs that live there. And they're also little gray people as well. Okay. I'll give you guys one guess. Does anyone see what I see yet? Okay, what I'm trying to think about what I'm trying to do right now, and then maybe look somewhere at the end of the function, and hopefully my dog doesn't tear this guess apart.
What lines are we looking at?
61. There's just like an empty if statement.
I'm gonna shoot you guys. All right, we already wrote what I'm about to do down here.
Okay. Yeah.
All I gotta do.
Line 61.
Boom.
Let's put it up there.
Oh. Okay.
Nice.
Boom, baby. Okay, and then I can let me just comment that out.
So real quick,
Why'd you do that?
your else statements on line 63 and 92, 63, 78, and 92. An else statement doesn't need a condition. So either you're looking for an else if or you're looking for an else. Right?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second thing is if you look at that block of code, you have if condition, else something else. Is that code that you could just as easily run outside of this outer if block entirely? So that when you're checking letters guessed, letter, and based on those conditions, you're updating the value of num of guesses left. Or maybe you're updating your map. But after that work is done. Yeah, so you have three higher level cases you're checking for. You're saying either you've already guessed this letter, you just guessed a letter that you haven't guessed before, or you guessed a letter that doesn't exist in the word, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have some amount of work you do to update the game state in those three cases, right? So either you set a flag to true in your data structure, in your map, or you decrement number of guesses left. So after any work has been done in those three cases, and you fall out of that outer if block that you're starting on line 52, that inner if block that you just pasted on 61 and 76 and 90, that's three copies of the same code. And one of those copies is going to run. But no matter what the user guessed, one of those three outer cases is going to get entered. So you could simplify this just by running that inner if block once outside of the outer block.
which is essentially what we already had going on, right?
Because basically you're checking some stuff and you're updating some state, and then once all of that's done, all you care about is, did we die yet? Did we win yet?
Yeah,
If you didn't die and if you didn't win, you don't have to do anything. So you shouldn't have to set current state to guess, because if we're inside this function, current state is already at guess.
Yes. So we need to add that condition, but that's basically what you were saying is basically what we already had done, right? Outside of all these ifs. Yeah. Okay. Which is why it was there in the first place. Silly me. Okay. Let me actually remove these comments. Yeah, we do need to change that. Aurelian, what are you drinking, man?
Kombucha.
It's a 40.
Is it kombucha? Me and Vitos at the same time.
Duvel, a Belgian golden ale.
Okay, so we have else if first let's see, you're right, this needs to be else if. Else, it's ELS if, excuse me, Ruby.
I think it's funny that when they designed it, they just took out the E.
I think there's one other language that's like that.
Python, I think, does ELIF.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does when you're typing it out. It it saves you that.
I told you, man.
Millisecond, but
Programmers hate typing.
Yeah,
they do. I just got your text, Michael.
Oh.
I knew it was doing an echo. I knew it. Is it still doing it? No, can't be.
now we just hear a little squeaky toy.
Yeah, you can hear alligator kid. Hey, you want to see his gator? Come here, Light. Come here, Light. Come here.
What's his name? Light?
Light.
Seems proper considering you're in Louisiana to have an alligator toy.
Yeah.
That's why he's got this giant alligator, as you can see.
Holy.
Can you get it? Can you get on a chair?
That's a gator.
Here, get the gator.
It's all flat. It's like got run over by a pickup truck.
Yeah, it's like a Looney
I know.
Tune.
I think they purposely didn't include stuffing because they wanted to save money. I don't know, or because they were like, all these dog owners are sick of having stuffing all over their floor. Let me see. If number of guesses left greater than number of limbs. Wait a second. If there's more number of guesses left than there are number of limbs, state is die. That's wrong, right? We need to have, if number of guesses left less than number of limbs, right?
Not less than. Because what happens to the value of number of guesses left over time? Does it increase or does it decrease?
It decrements. You're right.
Mhm.
Okay. So wait, should I need to do less than or equal to? No, because if we have equal to, there's one left. Okay. So if number of guesses left greater than or equal to number of limbs.
Wait. So when game initializes and you set an initial value of num of guesses left, what's its initial value?
6.
Which is the same as
isn't
what?
isn't it independent? Isn't it independent of the limbs though? Of the amount of limbs that there are, the number of guesses left?
No, because every wrong guess adds a limb.
I know what Fido's asking. They're two different variables, right? So number of limbs is a constant. That's why it's got that at.
Mm-hmm.
So number of limbs is going to stay the same. However, number of guesses is actually actually static. So it is going to change.
Okay.
Well, it's not static. It's a member variable.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
But the places in your game class where you update num of guesses left on line 55 and 64, what are you doing to that value?
In game class?
Yeah, on 55 and 64.
I'm decrementing it by 1. Actually, it should just be -1, right?
No, the code you have there is right. So the value is going down over time as the player makes more wrong guesses. So on line 68, when you're setting up a condition for your basically to update to a death state, what's the value that you're could ultimately decrement down to?
0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just say a number of guesses left equals 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then die. Would that be better to do that, or would it be better to use this variable instead?
What variable?
The number of limbs.
I don't think so, because even if somebody has never read this code before and they see if number of guesses left is 0, that's pretty clear what that means, right? It means you don't have
Right.
any guesses left.
Okay, so that's set to die. And else, if number of guesses left is
So you're when you enter your make guess function, if we've coded this thing correctly, you're always going to enter that function with current state equal to guess, right? Because if it was already death or win, we wouldn't be re-entering this function.
yeah, this needs to change. This needs to change to win. However, I'm trying to think of the okay. So what makes it a win? That number of guesses left. Well, man, why did I delete those comments? I'm drunk. I shouldn't have done that. There we go. Drinking too much wine. Okay, so let me think. So if you guess the letter correctly, okay, and all of the letters that are possible to be guessed become guessed, then in that case, then you win. So what is a conditional check for that? If all of them are guessed, we have a variable for how many. We have that key map. We have the map, right? We have the map. What else do we have? We have hold on a second. We have secret word.
Don't you match lengths of what's guessed and then the amount of spaces that are used?
Well, what we basically have to do is like go through this map and check if all of them are true. If all of the so we have the keys, right? And the keys are the letters. So if you have a word and the letters of the word are A, B, C, okay, they're all going to initially be set to false. If there's, we need to find a way, and there could be a more simplistic way to do this. And so, Michael, correct me if I'm wrong. We should be able to go through the map and check, are all of these guys true? If indeed all of these guys are true, set the game state to win.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you're gonna iterate through it.
We just passed the 30-minute mark.
I don't think we have to iterate through it because it's a map, right, Michael?
Oh,
didn't we already get away with not having to iterate through this thing before?
Yeah. So look at the member variable that you're setting up in your game on line 27.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Count of unguessed letters. Equals letters guess dot length. Count of unguessed letters. Okay. We have this guy.
So that variable, is that going to increase or decrease over time?
This is going to decrease over time.
Yeah.
Wait.
So you might right now, you're just missing the code that's responsible for decrementing that count as well.
Yep.
So basically, like as a player plays your game, it's going to be a race, and it's a race between, do they get num of guesses left to 0 first, or count of unguessed letters to 0 first, and that corresponds to death and win, respectively.
Beautiful. Yeah, so we can decrement that by 1. It's been so long since we touched this thing that I forgot. I've forgotten so many different components. Like I said, we're pretty much almost done. Except for like the swazzy part. All right, so now, so we're decrementing that by 1. Okay. And then when this guy is 0, okay, so when that guy is 0, then we can change the game state to win. All right, so if count of unguessed letters equals 0, game state win. Is there any other condition that we need to check for in here? We don't have a debugger, so we might as well just run it and find out.
Right. Well, one thing real quick, you want to make sure that you're using an equality operator and not the assignment operator in your conditions.
Thank you. Wait a second. Yeah. Yup. Boom. Okay. Kill that. Also, don't forget your wear clause. Because I did that today. And it
Never
caused-
forget your wear clause.
I caused a lot of damage today doing that.
Wait, what?
The wear clause. Someone want to explain that to him?
I don't know what that is.
It's
Well, I do
talking
that.
about a SQL query.
All right, it ended. So the game state did change to win, except now we need to go back into the CLI and indicate that, hey, you won. Okay, Aurelian. So, you know, like SQL it's a database language, right? And there's tables in a database.
Yeah.
So if you have a table, and let's just say the table is a, let's say it's a governmental table for for LLC's IDN number, their employment, and the E and ID number, their employment identification number,
Okay.
employer and identification number. If you run an update, and so this table has 1 million rows, right? It probably has more than 1 million, but let's just say this table has 1 million rows.
Okay.
If you want to update, let's just say one company changes. If you guys can see what this dog is doing right now, let's say we have one company, right, and we need to make an update because they just canceled like one LLC and changed their E and ID for some reason. Okay, and you have to go update that one singular record, right? If you run a SQL update, so you say update,
You update
Table
all
name.
of them.
set this update table name, set this field that to equal to this field.
Okay.
Okay, where ID equals the ID you're looking for. Okay, that updates that one record because of the where clause. It says where ID equals 69. Okay, because you only want to update record number 69. If you do that and you remove that where clause, right,
Updates all.
ID equals 69, what happens is every single record on that table gets updated.
To that. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're messing with like a DB in production, you just made a really bad mistake, and you could have cost people a lot of money.
How'd you guys can you share how you guys fixed it, Josh?
We were in a development environment, so luckily it wasn't in production. But you just do a rollback, and it all depends on like what the people's policy is, how
Right.
often they. So a good place should save a snapshot in time of their DB, of where they're at.
Kind of as a contingency for if somebody
at
fucks
least
it up.
every 24 hours, okay? And they store
Okay.
it somewhere else just in case something like this happens and the next morning comes around. You got to
You just
revert
put it
everything back to the day before, right?
Okay.
So
There's
always
still going to be
backup.
problems. There's still going to be problems, right? Because you could lose like a day's worth of like something.
Right.
However, you have to commit your changes if you want them to be permanent in the database. So if you catch that fix before you commit stuff, you can usually go back and save it.
Gotcha.
If not, you're probably going to get fired.
That would suck.
Unless you're like a junior and you're working in a development environment, they're like, haha, you noob, we got you. You got it. You did it. Okay,
Gotcha.
so now looks like that's all good. So now we're gonna come into here. And can you guys still hear the music? Because I don't even hear any of this music.
No, I can't hear it.
can't?
We're over the 30-minute mark. You want to keep going?
No, we should kill it. What I'm gonna do is in here, what we need to do is I need to make a comment in here.
Yeah, let's figure out next steps.
Yeah. To do. So we're gonna do some to dos. I don't know if we should do this in Cell. Where is this while loop? Let me see. Okay. And this code probably actually might need to be inside the while loop. However, we're gonna work with it later. So to do. Check game state and reflect if when upon user, reflect if loss, lose upon user, ask user if they want to start again, else, and what else should we need to do? We should probably And then we can do like this. Let's just do this. Extras. Update UI to, you guys see the person honking the horn? Reflect how many underscores are left for letters guessed. So basically, if they already guessed 3 of them, it would be cool. It's unnecessary, but it would be cool if we could display the letter instead of the underscore. So like, let's see, display letter instead of underscore if user has already guessed it. And I guess that can go somewhere in here. So if, well, actually, we probably have to, yeah, we would have to do that in the make guess. In the make guess. Let's see. This will probs be needed to be written in make guess. Anything else, guys?
Yeah, so real quick, so the representation of your game state with the letters and the underscores, that's part of your text CLI layer, right? And any other text, any other prompts that you're outputting, like asking the user to enter a letter, that's part of CLI as well. So
Yes.
Part of the reason why it's helpful to have the CLI call make guess sequentially, one call after another until the game ends, is that it gives your CLI the opportunity to output or run any arbitrary code between guesses, right? So for example, like in our case, we have a method, I think in CLI, that outputs the partial word with underscores. So when we basically before or as we enter our while loop on line 47, that would be the place where we could call that method to say print game state. That way, between every guess, we see the latest representation of the word.
So we don't have a method for that. We just have this puts, but we can definitely create a method for that. So let me put a comment for that in here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess in this case, it's a game method because you have get current state of word, which is sort of the same thing.
Oh,
you just need to move that call from running before your while loop to actually running inside of it.
You're right. Yeah, we do have that function.
Because I mean, in our case, it's pretty simple because we're not running any complex code here in the CLI. We're most of the logic is going to be running in the game. But if we were going to expand this game in the future, we might want to support something like maybe you're about to run out of guesses, but if you pay 99 cents, you can get 3 more guesses. And
yeah, you sure can.
That's something we could prompt them to do between guesses, but it could be the CLI would be responsible, right? And similarly, if you want to display an ad and then switch out ads every 5 guesses, you can do that, and your game doesn't have to know anything about ads. Because otherwise, if you call make guess or something like that on your game class and it doesn't return until the game is over, you can't really do a whole lot in terms of talking to the user or giving hints and things like that. You make it all the responsibility of the game.
Yes. You're right. Sorry. A little preoccupied. Does anyone else have anything they want to say before we end? Real quick, I'll just say, if you guys want some cool t-shirts, check out Alpha Villains on Instagram. They have a Teespring. Lots of cool, funny shirts. Like, let's look at this. Let's find a funny one. Where is this? Hokenomics. I think that's pretty funny. Maybe I'm just a misogynistic pig. I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not me. Maybe the world is the issue here. Does anyone else have anything else they want to say? I love you guys all. Craig, you're extremely quiet tonight. Craig, I'm gonna kick you out, dude. I'm gonna come up there to Canuck Land. I'm gonna take a bottle of fucking maple.
I'm reading on fucking C++ and the fucking write the VST in a .NET.
What are you doing? Coming in here to read, dude? You're supposed to come in here to hang out and chat with us, dude.
I can't contribute anything, like, because every time you guys are doing stuff on Ruby, like, you guys are way beyond me. I get what you're trying to do, but like it's like I don't know how to articulate it, and like I'm not a Ruby expert,
Neither am I. Really.
Neither are we.
None of us are Ruby experts.
right? But so like
It's a
just
pretty
like,
low bar here, Craig.
Yeah, I'd just be like spewing shit out of my ass. Like
I was just waiting for you to come up with some good memes, dude. That was it. That was like I was hoping you were going to be funny or do something. But I'm coming. I'm coming right now. I'm gonna end this Zoom chat. Okay, I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna come book a ticket right now. I'm coming right up to Canada, boy.
Well, I thought. Oh, do you want your conspiracies?
Can we get those after?
I don't know. Should we save that for when we can't? Let's end it. We can do this after. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We all love you. We all
Thanks
accept
for tuning in.
We accept everybody. We love everybody. Every person, all the rainbow people. I myself am a rainbow person. Everyone in here knows that. I'm extremely rainbow.
How do you identify your sexual orientation, Josh?
I identify my sexual orientation as a lowland gorilla named Harambe, and there's a lot of things that go on in this enclosure, but no one really knows except for me. You know what else, guys? You know what I just noticed? Does it look like my shirt is sparkling in this light?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck, dude. I didn't realize that until just now. Dude, this is the new stream shirt. It's my sparkler shirt. It works.
Is it supposed to be sparkling?
When is the merch coming? Actually,
it's coming.
Good question.
It's in the mail.
It's coming right after the podcast.
Yes, it's coming right after the podcast. We got to do that ASAP. You want to do that tomorrow? You guys want to do that tomorrow morning?
Sure.
Do
Okay.
what?
podcast.
Topic.
Podcast. Yeah, we'll do it. Hell yeah.
You don't know yet. You haven't been woken to the idea. We'll tell you. We'll fill you in.
What is it?
Are you sure you want to do a podcast? That's like super like white boy.
Dude, look at me. I'm so fucking olive that I don't even know what to do. You see this fucking bottle of wine right
Buddy,
here?
I got a bottle of wine. I got a freaking box of wine. I'm pouring it into my mason jar, my Classico mason jar.
Oh, yeah,
buddy.
both
I'm more
of you guys
Italian
are
than you.
Italian, right? Oh yeah.
No, Aurelian's not Italian. Aurelian, what are you, man?
That's a good question.
Hybrid.
Mixed breed.
Mixed
Like,
breed.
like Basque.
Aurelian's really just
He's
a
a
rainbow
pure
person.
blood.
He's a pure blooded rainbow person.
We're all muggles here.
All right, good night, ladies and gentlemen. We love
Thank
you
you
all.
for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you want any more information, you got to go to eatliftprogram.com.
Yes, do
Sign
it.
up
There you
for
go.
the coding course
Do
if
it.
this interests you.
Do it.
All right.
There you go, Craig.
Do
There
it.
you go. That's why we brought
Do
you
it.
on.
Also, subscribe to my
Oh,
OnlyFans.
perfect.
Yes. Oh, don't forget to leave the comment if you want the OnlyFans.
Leave the
Yes,
OnlyFans
we
comment,
know
you fuckers.
want
Hit the bell.
OnlyFans.
Hit the bell.
Hit
Hit the bell.